Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Horror Corner, and welcome to this horror movie review as part of my 31 Horror Movies in May series. So, today we're going to take a look at and review one of the few foreign films that I have in my collection, but it's a pretty well known one, and that is from 1999, Takashi Miike's Audition. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it with the setup, the premise, and the cast, and then I'll get into my thoughts and review, which will be spoiler free. So, Audition is a 1999 Japanese horror film directed by Takashi Miike, based on the 1997 novel by Murakami. Murakami. The film is about a widower who stages a phony audition to meet a potential new romantic partner. After interviewing several women, he becomes interested in Asami, whose dark past affects their relationship. So, the film opens with a widower and his son says that he should find a new wife. He finds his best friend, the film producer, devises a mock casting audition at which young women audition for the part of his new wife. He agrees. He agrees to the plan and is immediately enchanted by a woman named Asami, attracted to her apparent emotional depth. His friend cannot reach any of the references in her resume, such as a music producer she said she worked for, who is missing. However, this guy is so enthralled by her that he pursues her anyway. She lives in an empty apartment containing a sack and a phone. For 4 days after the audition, she sits perfectly still next to the phone, waiting for it to ring. When it finally does, she answers, pretending that she never expected him to call. After several dates, she agrees to accompany him to the seaside hotel where he intends to propose marriage. At the hotel, Asami reveals burn scars on her body. Before they have sex, Asami demands that he pledge his love to her and no one else. Deeply moved, he agrees. In the morning, Asami is nowhere to be found. So that's sort of the setup and the premise to this movie Audition. Cast wise, we have, and I'm going to try my hardest, this isn't going to be easy. We have Aihi Shina as Asami Yamazaki, Ryo Ishibashi as Shigeharu Oyamaya, Jun Kunimura as Yasha, Yasashia Yoshishaki, Tetsa Sawaki as Shigehiko Omaya. How am I doing so far? Not great. Mayuko Matsuda as Ryoko Oyamai. So, um, that's the setup, the premise, and the cast. Yeah, this is a fantastic foreign film that I love. It's obviously subtitled. I don't understand or speak any Asian language, but this is one of those movies that you don't really need to speak the language to really understand what's going on. Yeah, I have a lot more pros than I do cons to this, but this is actually one of my favorite horror movies, frankly. Starting with the pros in my review, this is a great and unfolding story that really works, and it adds so much depth to the last 15, 20 minutes of this movie. It's much better and much more impactful because of the story that unfolds in the setup we get. It's very well written and well developed. It gives us intriguing characters, especially the main two characters of this movie. Uh, Basically, Oyamaya and Asami, the man and the woman here. Yeah, I just can't speak highly enough. Some people say it's boring. Some people say it's too slow of a burn form. There's no horror really in the first hour. I disagree with that because I think when you get the kind of payoff that you get in this movie and you go back and watch it again, you realize the setup is so important and so just everything to this movie and how good it is. So they have really compelling and layered characters, especially the two leads, as I mentioned, Asami and Oyamaya. We get good setup for both these characters that informs the audience of where they have been or what they've been through and what they want. They're both flawed characters, have been through a lot. But yeah, just a lot, very layered. There's a lot going on there, and that's always makes for a great story and a great movie. I thought the performances by both Ai Shina and Ryo Ishibashi, who plays the two main leads, were outstanding. They really brought life to their characters and made their characters seem real, along with the writing of the story. But they both did a great job portraying these characters and making you feel they made the overall movie better because of it. They also made you feel like these might be two people that they just plucked off the street. That's how real they were in their performances, in my opinion. Obviously, it's a wonderfully directed movie by Takashi Miike, probably his most famous movie. He's got a lot of good ones out there, but he really delivers a well executed story with some equally effective and disturbing images and atmosphere throughout the movie. So the final act of this movie is batshit crazy, disturbing, and some moments are even hard for me to watch. It will make most people turn away at some of the torture and the things happening in the last 20 minutes. Incredibly powerful and scary. As I said, a lot of because of that story setup and unfolding. And it's mostly because it feels very real. I mean, this isn't like this could really happen. This isn't about monsters or vampires or anything like that. These are real people that live in real times. And the scariest horror movies are the ones that involve real people, I think. And, the monster ones are fun, the supernatural ones are fun, but there's something about like real life and knowing that it could actually happen that just makes it that much scarier to me. Um, I enjoyed the dreamlike sequences towards the end of the movie as Oyamaya goes on a drug trip, basically, that reveals certain things that the audience didn't know earlier. It really ratchets up the suspense and terror that's about to be bestowed on him and us as an audience. Um, it's very unsettling once these dream sequences start, and it's also very ambiguous. You're not quite sure what's a dream and what's real, and what all happened. But I think I don't know. To me, by the end of the movie, I kind of realized what was real and what was dreamlike. But it's again goes back to Takashi Miike's direction. It's very well done. I really enjoyed that aspect. It's a fairly gory and bloody for all those gore hounds out there, mostly in the final act, the last 10 or 15 minutes. She does something with wire. That's all I'll say. But obviously, it's not going to be bloody or gory throughout the whole movie because they're telling a story and introducing us to characters there. Has a great commentary on human nature and human behavior, both from the emotional scars that we have and that we've dealt with, and how we are capable of treating others as a result, either good or bad. Yeah, it was a really interesting themes and commentary there that I definitely picked up on. And then it has really good cinematography and lighting as well. I think the movie looks really great. So, yeah, I just can't really speak highly enough about Audition and how well it works for me. As far as the cons go, these aren't really my cons. They're more for just throwing it out there for other people. But it is a slow burn type horror movie, which it doesn't bother me at all. I like slow burn movies as long as I know the payoff is going to be good. And believe me, in this movie, the payoff is more than what I was expecting. The first two-thirds of the movie, though, is more of a drama and character study, and build up, which I think the build up is the key to this entire movie because you get a sense as the movie starts as well. Really, once you get into the middle of the movie and you meet her character, and things just start. There's some eeriness there, and it just starts saying, "I'm not sure I would. I think I would stay away from this woman." And as an audience member, and it just gets more and more gets revealed, and you realize this guy's in big trouble. And they do it. It really does a great job with building up suspense and tension because of the first two-thirds of this movie. It's just brilliant. But for some people, it might not be everyone's cup of tea having to wait to the third act for the on screen horror, if you will. I think there's plenty of horror before that. Not everyone would probably won't like the dream sequences towards the end, which results in a lot of ambiguity of what's real and what isn't. It's not a movie that gives you all the answers. You have to do some thinking here and some interpretation. And like I said, for people like me, that's fine. I enjoy that in a horror movie. I don't like to be spoon fed as much, but some people might want a few more answers. And then my final con, and again, it's not really one for me, but for other people, this movie might not be quite as shocking as it was in 1999 or even through the early 2000s in terms of the shock value you get in the last 20 minutes, that it initially had because of all the torture porn movies, if you want to call that a subgenre, movies that involve torture and things like that that we've seen, like Hostel, that came out after this. it might not be as impact from a shock value standpoint as a result, but it's still really impactful because of the themes going on here, because of how the story's told and these characters. So yeah, I love this movie. I think Audition is one of the great horror movies that I've ever seen, frankly. And I've watched it a few times. This is the third time I watched it for this review, and I can't recommend it highly enough. And even if you're somebody that doesn't really like or gravitate towards foreign films, if there's one that I would get you to go back on that and check out, it's definitely Audition. Because you're in good hands with the director, you're in good hands with the story and the characters. And like I said, most of the movie is a setup to the last 15 minutes, and it's a great setup. I just can't speak highly enough on that. So I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. I think, well, you know what? I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I think this is damn near a perfect horror movie. I really do. I think even giving it a 9 out of 10 isn't enough praise. So I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10 as far as my review. Go ahead and comment down below if you guys have seen Audition, what you think of it. Sorry, I got the allergies going on today in case you can't tell. But yeah, comment down below what you think of it, if you like it, if you don't like it, pros and cons. Please like this video and hit the little notification bell down below so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos, which is only one more for this series. But please subscribe down below as well so you don't miss any of my great horror content that I have coming up for the rest of the year. So I hope you enjoyed this review for Audition. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Stay scared. Bye.